Welcome, guys, to a new little segment here because obviously I'm trying to do new things, trying to make the football hot as tasty as three piranhas. So what this is a weekly hot video segment where I focus on one club, and I just think that this is perhaps a bit more something interesting and something a bit different. So I think it's something that people have recommended, and I've talked to my guy, sort of Daniel Tiluk, talking tactics every Tuesday about it. And I just thought, let me try this out and see how this works. It may not work, it may not work well. So this is focusing on different clubs, the clubs in which, have the greatest fan base that are also viewers of the channel, just to give you a little breakdown on how it's going to work. So it's a mixture of a review of the week stroke the last few weeks, where we look at the positives, we look at the negatives, we look at the star performer, we look at the possible flopper or liability, and then we maybe do like a nice little roundup and a conclusion of how to really move forward. So for Chelsea, let's start. It's on the way. Let's just start with the positives. The big positive are two things. Conte's tactical shift to this three-man defense and Kante. So the positives is a Kante-Conte duo, a one-two punch of Kante-Conte. So let's start out with Antonio. Because for me, I feared about the three-man defense for Chelsea because I was like, that's a very continental Italian thing to do. Normally, teams in the Premiership, if any, play the three-man defense. Because the three-man defense, you need three quality defenders, and that's five in the midfield. Those wing backs have to hustle. So those wing backs have a lot of hard work to do, and those three at the back is your positioning is tested even more compared to when you're playing at the four because of the kind of space that is there within you. Because of the amounts of more space you now have to cover, you have to really be far more aware mentally and psychologically about your positioning a lot more when you're in a three-man defense. So I worried about it because I was like, David Luiz, Gary Cahill, these are not the smartest defenders out there. But Conte, he went for it. He said, you know what, screw it. This whole format thing is not working. Let me go with what I went with. And it's working. It's working really well. But I think the real strength of it have been the wing back. Because you look back at Juventus, the big, huge thing, the key guys for that formation was Lichtsteiner and I believe it was Pras Asamoah, who were really the wing backs. Who obviously, when Juventus don't have the ball, they now go back in there to form like a five-man defense. When they now do have the ball, they now go in there to put the five in midfield. So those guys really formed a very important part of it. So, but in this thing, we're not saying, I think it's Marcos Alonso, the dude from Fiorentina. And I don't know how to feel about this. As a Nigerian, I don't condone or want to promote Moses as a wing-back. But if it works, it works. Personally, for me, I don't like it. I want Moses playing as an attacking wing because I think that's his position and that will benefit the Super Eagles. But again, this is Chelsea, this is contesting, and the fact that it's working. It's working, and Moses has been doing very well. So I think this has to be how Chelsea move forward. And it's still not perfect. It still ain't great. They're still figuring it out. But I think for Conte, if these guys, they figure this stuff out, because the beauty about this tactic, when you figure it out, defensively, you're very well covered. In midfield, you're very well covered, and in attack, you're very well covered because it's very malleable, and it is very easy to transition to offense. It's very easy to transition to defense if it's done well. Because you look at how Conte did it with Juventus, you're like, no, this is just a very robust and formidable shape. Very formidable construction for them. So. It'll be interesting to see whether it reaches to the point where it is as good as it was when he was with Juventus or not. So that would be interesting. But on the other positive, Kante. nobody can now say Kante is a workhorse. Anybody that says that should be slapped in the face, because the whole thing was, oh no, he's a workhorse. He can, the 80% of the wall is covered by what the rest is covered by Kante, because, he runs up and down. Yeah, he does have that upon him, but he's now showing that he's now a pure midfielder. And I think the beauty about it was that we never really saw this at Leicester, because at Leicester, he was like the workhorse. He did show some of the midfield powers, but he was really he showed more of his workhorse side to his game. So I think it's very interesting, and it just shows Conte's amazing eye that he said, no, Kante, you are a central midfielder. I'm giving you the number 7 shirt. You are sitting right in the center of midfield. You are the guy who is tasked to controlling the game. And Kante is Antonio's Pirlo. That's what he is. He's his Pirlo. He is the guy who is tasked with controlling the game, getting the team going. Yes, he will track back and tackle, but I think Conte says, no, I want you to set things up. I want you to ping that ball out to Alonso on that wing or out to Moses on that wing. I want you to move forward with the ball. And the thing with Kante is that his stamina is incredible, absolutely incredible. And a guy that has that high stamina, who is technically that proficient, I mean, guys, we could be looking at a very, very good central midfielder. Because the key thing, I told you, I've played in central midfield before. Stamina is key. And not every footballer has a very high stamina. So Kante's stamina is of a very high thing. And once your stamina is very high, in something like the main midfield, it puts you in an amazing stead. So, I mean, Chelsea have something there. And I will say it again, I know it sounds like a broken record. If you have a very good central midfielder, you can pretty much win any game. Even a game that you're losing or you're struggling to get in, so you have a great chance to get back in the game if you've got a very good central midfielder. It is crucial. It is crucial. It puts you in an amazing position to have an amazing, all-encompassing central midfielder. So what about the negatives? I think, you know what, the main thing is still the defense. They've done well so far. And I've been impressed by how they've adjusted to the 3-man defense. But I'm still worried. Because, again, we look at these 2 games. Leicester, doing well in the Champions League, a very attacking team. But they've struggled in the Premiership. They've struggled. Let's just be real here. Man United, they had chances in that game. They did, especially when they went down a goal, and they had chances, but you're still playing against a team that's not been functioning very well. So my worry is against a team that are tactically astute and functioning well. Let's say like a Man City or even an Arsenal. Then it's like, okay, can this 3-man defense really work? Because really, I don't think they did the 3-man against Arsenal when they lost. So against a team where has better chemistry, because have better chemistry and are playing much more better consistently compared to Leicester and Man United, that's when they will test it. And I still don't have faith in Gary Cahill. That's why I think Zuma, John Terry, these guys have to be really the guys higher up in the pecking order to play that 3-man. So I just think that, the Cahill and David Luiz thing, I don't have faith in that. And I think in the long run, I'm not sure whether that will work. Because, I told you, I'm sorry. People may not like this. Gary Cahill is an okay defender. He's not a great defender. He isn't. And he just doesn't have the positional sense that other higher quality defenders are. I mean, look at like Thiago Silva, Chiellini, Bazzali, Bonucci, even John Terry on a good day. Even Ramos, on a good day. Ramos can be crazy. Even Ramos. These guys have excellent reading of the game. Gary Cahill is not a very good reader of the game. He's a good, nuts and bolts defender. But he's not of that high caliber. And David Luiz is not a defender. I don't know how many times I'm going to say this. David Luiz can be an amazing defensive midfielder. That's what he can be, an amazing defensive midfielder. So that's that there, So star performance, very, very simple. Kante, I just think that Hazard, he played well. Diego Costa played well. Moses is a very surprising thing, but Pogba, you have to be worried. And Deschamps has to been down and be looking and thinking that, are you now going to play Pogba ahead of Kante? Because this has to be a meritocracy. It can't be based on a name or based on how good you are at dabbing. It's how proficient are you. And look, man, can't say this guy has raised his game. This ain't the guy we saw at Leicester City right now. This is a guy that can pass, that can tackle, that can create, that can do through balls, that can score, that can move forward with the ball. You know, the amount of things he can do is amazing, because I thought that, no, what Kante is doing is what I feel Pogba's potential is. But Kante is already there. He's already doing it. And who knows, I think this guy can even get better. I think he can even improve his game, you know. So, yeah, man, Kante definitely a star player. Flopper, not really a flopper, but for me, the main thing, liability, I'm sorry, it has to be Gary Cahill. I still say Gary Cahill is the main liability for the team, and I just think that against better strikers, smarter forwards, that could be an area in which Conte needs to really look at. So that's just what I feel, that Gary Cahill, he's a good defender. You cannot rely on him. He makes far too many mistakes against a very proper attack. Imagine Cahill up against Messi or Neymar or the Dutch killer, you know. So yeah, so to round up, conclude, I'm still sticking with Chelsea to win the Premiership title, you know, and I'm still staying with that pick. Obviously, I was a bit hesitant when they got through their bad spell, but this new tactic, this seems to be it. They've had two really good performances. Obviously, the Leicester one was better than the United one, but still two comprehensive victories back-to-back, two lubrications back-to-back. So I just think that as long as the team listen to Conte, because again, Conte, this guy, he's a very good tactician, and has proven to be a very good tactician. As long as they listen to him and heed his words, you know, Chelsea are going to be right up in there. You know, I say it's between Chelsea and City. So if these guys are consistent with this system, you know, I told you, Premiership is not a very tactical league, you know. So, and that's what these players have to realize, that if you get these tactics right, you're obedient. And it's almost like old school Mourinho, when like Mourinho's first stint with Chelsea, where you're tactically astute. If you're tactically astute, you're winning 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 games. Because this Premiership, apart from Guardiola, Koeman, okay, you have the Mourinho, but there are not that many tactical coaches out there who will set up in a very certain way. They're just coaches that they just play that way. So if this Chelsea thing works, you will be able to stop teams from scoring. You will be able to control the game, and you will be able to pick guys off with the players that you have and with the way that you create chances with your shape. So listen to Antonio Conte, do the work, be in the right position, and Chelsea can put themselves in a very nice place to, you know, potentially win this Premiership. All right, guys, remember, like the vid, share the vid, spread the word. Peace out, stay true. Remember to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook via my handle there at HalfHopeHot. I am on Twitter and on Facebook to keep up to date with my videos, my thoughts, my appearances on TV. Follow me right there. Guys, it only takes a few seconds. Please, if you enjoyed the vid, like the video. It really helps to grow the channel. And if you're a new member, just subscribe to the channel right there. Subscribe right there to the channel for much more football hot stuff. Like the vid, subscribe, be part of the football hot fraternity. Stay black.